last week we tried to get up California Pass and there was too much snow still. So we've had a hot week. We had a record of 87. I think it was Tuesday, which is real hot for here. Looks like it's melting a lot. We'll see how it goes. I've heard California's open and so is Hurricane. We'll find out. welcoming committee. What he's really saying is there's dinner on 4 tires. These things love antifreeze, they love hoses, they love wiring. You gotta be very careful and protect your vehicle from them. They will disable it for you up in the hills. You can see we're at California Pass, 12960. I'm gonna try and go out on this snow a little bit so you can see where we came up from. There's the valley. A lot of snow has melted, as you can see, but you can still see the pass, and there's a fair amount of snow in that basin where the pass goes. Very pretty day today. And there's Lake Como. My younger son and his buddies, we've gone swimming in that in the past, but obviously not today. It's still frozen, so we'll have to do that for another time. Give you a picture of a pretty flower too as they're growing, and you can see the road here. It goes down, curves to the right, comes back, and the one that goes up off to the left in this area here, that will take you to Hurricane Pass, which is to the left of that basin. And then there's one that goes down toward Lake Como. You can see it's still snowed in, and that is Poughkeepsie. I'm gonna go play around, see how far I can get. May not be very far toward Poughkeepsie, because I think that drift, let's see if I can find it. Okay. There's a high one coming right down below. That drift right there at the tip of my finger, I have a feeling is on the road. It's probably a few feet deep. So Poughkeepsie may not be open for a few weeks yet. But we'll keep on going. Just to make sure you heard that, I'm trying to get better as far as the wind blowing. Poughkeepsie may not be open for a few weeks until later this summer, because they don't plow it. They just wait for the snow to melt by nature. Hopefully you can read that. It says road closed. The county will not allow us to drive on it for now. So we'll go up Hurricane. We're now headed toward Hurricane Pass Summit. made it to Hurricane Pass, the summit. You can see the sign there. Try and get in front of it, 12.7. It's a little lower than California. And our friends that love to attack vehicles. And this is just a different perspective of Lake Como. These guys are out eating and doing well. There's Lake Como right there. As you can see, it's still quite frozen. I think I got it. And then that's Poughkeepsie Gulch. You can see the road here and there where it's starting to melt, but got a little ways to go. And then a week ago, I showed you some of those mountains there, as that's where California. You go up over that, the other side goes back to California Pass through that saddle there. And the Mountain Queen mine is over there on the other side. And I believe, looking across, you can see that red, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure I'm getting to it. I can't see the lens very well. I think it's right in there where my finger is, but a little bit of red, that's Engineer Pass over there. You know, very beautiful day. The flowers are coming up a lot faster this year, as you can see, because of the heat. So they're doing well and growing quick. And then I'm gonna go over here, because on the video, those who've been following along a little bit, when I went up to Corkscrew and the phone kept falling off the dash. Yeah, you can get away from my Jeep there. It's not your dinner. But where we are here is above Ross Basin, and it's kind of hard to, well, Ross Basin is right below us here in the foreground. Either Velocity Peak or Colorado Basin, as it's known, where I was telling you, Shaun White train. I don't think it's the one straight ahead. It's the one next over. Let's see if I can, just beyond that hill with the snow on it, there's another basin, that's Colorado Basin. And I'll go down Hurricane Pass a little bit. And in Ross Basin, you can see the road right in there. That's Whiskey Pass, and you can go up that, and it looks back to the right behind this peak here in that valley there. If you get a chance to come up here and get high enough, you can see a sunset, because we don't have sunsets in Silverton due to the bowl we're sitting in, the caldera. But you can look through there and you can see Red Mountain 1, 2, and 3. And I can't tell, I'm not for certain, but those two peaks that I'm pointing at may be part of 3, where Red Mountain Pass goes by, and then 1 would be directly behind the hill here. Anyhow, you'll have to come up here and see this. It is beautiful. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off because you've pretty much seen the other stuff, but have a good time when you get here.